remaining. Now, the auction is witnessing increased tonnage as favorable weather last year boosted production. The prices have, however, remained flat compared with the previous sale. The low prices have made traders jittery about the future, compelling them to offload more of the commodity rather than keep it and risk selling at a much lower price. Moving on, the Public Debt Management Office, under the 2012 Public Finance Management Act, is seeking to introduce an independent director to be completely selected by the Public Service Commission rather than appointed by the Cabinet Secretary to manage the day-to-day operations of the office. The law envisions an independent office with far-reaching powers in raising funds through borrowing to finance budget deficit, managing debt at minimum costs and risk, as well as being accountable for debt management operations. Now, according to the United Nations Trade Agency, Kenya's GDP growth is projected at 5.5% growth in 2020, a slight decline from the estimated 5.6% last year. The growth projection is one of the lowest thus far, with the Treasury seeing a rebound to 6.1% from last year's estimated 5.6%, while World Bank Group expects 6% expansion. Moving on, British investors have given the Kenyan government's plan on achieving affordable housing a major boost after they inked a deal to develop 80,000 new units across the country. Housing PS Charles Hinga said the deal was sealed during last week's inaugural UK-Africa Investment Summit that was held in London. Right, we're taking a short break, but when we come back, we've got more in the business world for you today.
World of M-Truck Solutions, your trusted provider for bulk SMSs. We also offer API integrations for all your communication and payment needs. We also provide you with tailor-made payment getaway solution to receive and disburse cash quickly, affordable and securely. Let us expand your reach and connectivity on USSD, SMS and voice today. Call us on 0723 030 030 or email hello@mtruck.limited.co.ke. For more details, visit our website www.mtrucklimited.co.ke.
Kipindi cha pekee katika ukanda wa Afrika. Hii ni nyingine moto sana. Ipepete. Bomba la sanaa. Uhondo wa burudani na taarifa zinazohusu wasanii uwapendao na unaowaenzi. Isitoshe, utapata mix kali kutoka kwa DJ wakali na tunakuahidi kukuletea studioni wasanii wapendao. Huku tukiwa na mada komavu zinazohusu sanaa. Jumuika naye Tony Mwirigi ndani ya Bomba la Sanaa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 4 hadi saa 6. 100%, wewe aminia, ukiwa na sisi huwezi umia, na ukiumia tutakubeba kwa gunia.
Tangu nianza kutumia mafuta ya Pika Cooking Oil, watu kibao.
Pika na Pika Cooking Oil, mafuta ya lazima kila jikoni.
Kibera ndio kwetu. Takriban watu 700,000 walio na mahiri tofauti tofauti na wangetaka nieleze habari zao kwa ulimwengu mzima wanaishi humu. Ni wazee hawa kwa vijana bila kuwasahau watoto wadogo ambao wananipa msukumo niwe mtangazaji nilie sasa. Ni kitendawili walichonipa, nami sina budi ila kukitegua kwa kukuletea habari za kusisimua na pia kukuelimisha. Kila wakati ninaposimama mbele ya kamera, ni nafasi ya kuwarudishia wanakibera shukrani na Wakenya wote kwa ujumla. Ni njia nzuri pia kuhamasisha wanafunzi wenzangu kwa wana uwezo wa kuwa chochote kile wanachotaka. Jina langu ni Soshil Kaveri, mtangazaji TV47.
Sikosangi sama kwa Mama Ben, sababu mlo wake huwa. Siri ya utamu ni upishi wa Pika Cooking Oil, mafuta ya kupika ya hali ya juu kwa bei nafuu.
Pika na Pika Cooking Oil, mafuta ya lazima kila jikoni.
Hamjambo watoto, karibuni kwa kipindi chetu. Show yetu ni ya watoto have fun as they learn pia.
Hello and welcome back. We apologize for the technical errors and glitches here and there, but it's time now to move on into the business news for the day. Jihan Abbas, a 26-year-old Kenyan woman, often walks into meetings full of puzzled faces as people crane past her looking for the boss of her digital motor insurance company. She's the boss. Here's more on that story.
When I was meeting with people, they would be surprised to see that it was actually me.
Jihan Abbas, a 26-year-old Kenyan woman, often walks into meetings full of puzzled faces as people crane past her looking for the boss of a new digital motor insurance company. Abbas is the boss. Abbas is the founder and chief executive of Griffin Insurance, which released its flagship mobile application on Friday. Griffin is Kenya's first digital-only car insurance company, which lets customers pay in installments and post coverage when they travel.
The Griffin Motor app is a car insurance app. It allows you to buy your insurance policy in less than 2 minutes. A lot of complaints that we're hearing from customers when we were doing our research before we created the product was that they didn't like calling up a lot of people in the value chain, whether it's a broker, agent, or the underwriter. It takes ages for them to get their cover. So we've simplified the whole process. You just have to answer 5 questions, get a quote, and then pay.
Griffin will process claims in a week rather than the industry standard of 30 days, she said. In addition to the app, Abbas' 14-person team has another company, Lami, that sells the technological platform they use to build Griffin, an application program interface that businesses can use to create their own digital insurance products. Lami raised $500,000 in a seed round and aims to close a Series A by March. Abbas, who grew up wakeboarding in the Indian Ocean on the weekends, always wanted to work in business. After graduating from university in London in 2015, she became a sugar trader. She was one of a handful of women in business, just like she is now. Nairobi, a technological hub nicknamed the Silicon Savannah, has attracted many entrepreneurs from places like the United States and United Kingdom. Abbas' light bulb moment came in 2016 at a restaurant when she learned her waiter didn't have health insurance. Neither, she would later learn, did most Kenyans. Health insurance coverage is about 19%, mostly under the low-cost government scheme, according to a 2018 paper in academic journal Health Systems and Reform. Digital insurance can drive down the cost of all forms of insurance because it increases transparency for data and analytics, said Abbas.
For example, something like M-Pesa is revolutionary not only here but around the world. And seeing that we're actually able to build technology that is unrivaled is really important to me. Yeah, and for me, it's the critical part of Lami and Griffin is that it was built in Africa for Africans. So that's something that I'm very proud of.
While the team's foray is in the motor insurance, they hope to use their platform and encourage other companies to do so to provide more forms of insurance, she said.
A lot of the CEOs here are not only men but also foreigners. So then it becomes this huge problem where you look around and yeah, you don't really see faces like mine or younger people or women particularly. So I think that's something that we need to change.
Alan Owino, TV 47.
Right, that was quite innovative from this young entrepreneur in the digital space. Now moving on, feeling appreciated at work is more important than pay, according to a survey conducted by Cognizant. While 92% said it was more important to feel appreciated at work, 62% also said belonging was more important than salary. Cognizant is one of the world's leading professional services companies, transforming clients' businesses, operating and technology models for the digital era. Take a look.
Feeling appreciated at work is more important than pay, according to a survey conducted by Cognizant. Cognizant is one of the world's leading professional services companies, transforming clients' business, operating and technology models for the digital era. The global IT business process and consulting services firm partnered with Microsoft to survey more than 10,000 full-time employees in 17 countries. At a launch event held at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Ben Pring, Director, Cognizant Center for the Future of Work, stressed that creating a culture of belonging is a business imperative. They asked respondents for their views on the importance of belonging in the workplace. It found, while 92% said it was important to feel appreciated at work, 62% also said belonging was more important than salary. The issue of belonging is significantly more important for Gen X and Gen Y managers. For these groups, it's not enough to have a seat at the table or even have a voice. It's about knowing their voice is valued and they can contribute, the report said.
I briefly found out the results of the Twitter poll about the data. So you can look at the data, judge for results.
The key to inclusion is to give more and more of the means, the tools to be included, the skills, the abilities, the qualities to be included. That's still, again, extremely important. And again, we're still at a kind of relatively early stage of doing that.
In our journey about including folks and understanding the identities of folks and having them self-identify. One example is expanding your network beyond folks that identify the same way with you. Educating yourself on language and what words you use to be inclusive and how people, and come on everyone also to have a measure of grace. If someone gets it wrong, they use the wrong word.
Also participating in Wednesday's launch was Caroline Casey, the founder of the Valuable 500, which aims to get companies to put disability inclusion on their agendas.
The Chief Belonging Officer instead of the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, because I get more and more concerned about how we're segregating and categorising our humanity in business and competing them against each other, and therefore there is a kind of a hierarchy of exclusion and inclusion, and that's just absolutely crazy, and that's not helpful for belonging.
Employees today expect more humanity from their job. You know, we're now living one life, and we can talk about tech and is it because of tech, but the fact is we have one life. Work and life are one thing, and because of that, the expectations of what I get out of work have changed. And so to me, it's incredible that we're having this conversation first. And second, I would say, you know, the idea, and you talked about, you know, being included, we would call it conscious inclusion. And so bringing people, inviting them to the table and making sure that their voice is not just, you know, heard, but welcomed.
Who's the founder of the Valuable 500.
All right, I'm going to thank my panellists, Becky Frankowitz, Ben Pring, Tony Profit, Caroline Casey, and thank you all of you for coming.
I want to see the whole thing from the enterprise point of view. In other words, companies need to continue, they need to be ongoing concerns, as we call them, so they need the employees to be happy and productive. So by giving them the belonging side of it, basically they make better business.
More diverse teams bring more creativity to the table. We tend to learn from each other, and it's better reflective of our buyers. So they also tend to be more successful.
Right, that was quite interesting indeed to find out, especially when looking at one speaker called Jim Rohn, who mentioned that people will work for a living, but they will die for recognition. Now, moving on, as mobile phone companies continue to increase their penetration in the country, giant Chinese telecom firm Huawei is doing all things possible to strengthen its operations. This time round with the introduction of a new Android phone said to be advanced in technology. Huawei Nova 5T, launched on Thursday, becomes the first Nova device from the Chinese tech giant to hit the Kenyan market. Here's more. Right, we apologize for the technical glitch right there, but moving on, fallen African e-commerce unicorn Jumia will focus on its path to profitability following a bruising 2019 that saw investors flee and its share price plummet in the wake of a historic stock market listing. After retreating from retail and food delivery services in several markets late last year, Jeremy Hodara said the company, dubbed Africa's Amazon, would look to capitalize on its infrastructure network and payment platforms to boost revenues from additional services for third-party sellers on its online marketplace.
After a bruising 2019 in which it lost its tech unicorn crown and pulled back from 3 countries, Africa-focused Jumia Incorporated said it is back in fighting form. The head of a company dubbed Africa Amazon said that the e-commerce ecosystem it built, including an online payment platform, a logistic network and a range of services for sellers, will lead them back in business before investors lose patience. Jumia has a long way to go. After becoming the first African tech firm to list in New York in April with a value over $1 billion, Jumia's shares tumbled after short seller Citron Research cast doubt on Jumia's sales figures. Last year, it shut its e-commerce service from Cameroon and Tanzania, and it nixed its food delivery service in Rwanda.
We have done a lot of investments to build this logistics platform, to build this marketplace, and to build this payment platform. Now we are going to be extremely disciplined and very focused on our path to profitability, and that's where we are going.
Hodara declines to say whether more markets could face the axe. Its adjusted EBITDA loss grew in the third quarter to €45 million, up 10 million from the previous year. It's burned through a startling amount of cash, and analysts warned that raising more could be a challenge. Hodara said Jumia had no immediate plan to seek more outside cash, and that a series of trends, such as scaled-up businesses and smarter algorithms, were helping to cut its costs. He also said the company hybrid approach to e-commerce is an asset rather than a point of confusion.
It's not a fintech company, it's not a marketplace, it's an e-commerce ecosystem where we have a very strong marketplace, a very strong logistic platform, and a very strong payment platform that complement each other to make Jumia what it is.
JumiaPay, the company's online payment platform, is a key part of the growth plan, and Hodara said that they plan to open it and the logistics network to third parties, something it has already trialed. While Jumia has never focused on selling its own products in the way Amazon does, Hodara said even the Alibaba model of making cash on commissions is not their aim.
We have a very significant footprint of physical locations across the continent where we can inject packages and parcel and then be distributed. That's unique.
Sarah Simon, senior analyst at Berenberg, said it is clear that investors would not swallow infinite losses. She said the next 4 to 5 quarters will be pivotal to Jumia.
A fantastic world would be a world where you have zero commission as a seller, you have zero shipping fee as a consumer, and so on and so forth, and your entire monetization is made out of additional services you sell to the sellers, gamification you do with the consumer. We are not there yet, but I think it's a fantastic aspiration to be.
Lucy Riley, Nairobi.
Right, looking forward to see that our company actually bounce back into business. Now, moving on, women doing business across East Africa borders face many challenges, and a forum dubbed Empower saw the need of creating a platform where these entrepreneurs could meet and discuss opportunities available in the region. Now, with support of various organizations, women in business now have a reason to smile. Let's listen in.
We are very excited to support women. As EY, we have a platform where we ensure that we have women leaders get to a certain percentage of the men at the top. Only in EY Kenya, we have 4 partners, women partners, out of about 14. So we have 4 women and 10 men, and that is such an achievement which most entities may not have. We support women, not specifically, but we support entities in capacity building around taxation and how they can build their businesses within the laws, how they can take advantage of taxation issues, how they can comply with the tax authorities, and if there's any controversy or litigation, we support them either by telling them you're wrong here, just pay what you have to pay, or you're right, let's move on to the next appeal level.
OIT is the Organization for Women in International Trade, and really our mandate is to promote the advancement of women in international trade, helping women who are in business to grow their business, to build their business so they can trade globally. So that is across the continent of Africa and beyond. The ePower Forum was extremely enlightening. I think one of the things that the presenter mentioned in the morning was the idea that e-commerce is no longer a nice to, but it is a necessary. It's something that a woman in business really needs to look seriously at. as they consider how they can grow their business. As an organization, OIT, our mandate is to help women to trade across borders, and e-commerce is a great way to be able to do that. Without necessarily having to leave to go out and search business, you can provide your goods and services online to customers who are, like I said, either across the continent or elsewhere in the Americas, in Europe, etc.
One of the areas we work with is, of course, building the capacity of the women SMEs themselves. How to run a business, how to find a market, how to comply to market requirements and all that. But also we do a lot of policy work. So some of the areas we want to cover in e-commerce is the regulatory framework, because right now in East Africa we don't quite have an enabling framework to aid e-commerce across the region.
The reason and the rationale behind definition of a digital marketplace and placing income tax and value-added tax on this is to capture those people who are not within the tax system and who can easily not pay tax in our jurisdiction, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, when they are actually making money out of it. Because the principles of taxation say when you have income, you have to pay a fair share of tax.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I had with you for today, and that's all we had under the business news. When we come back, we prepared for you a really good interview on business ideas that you can actually start in January from two entrepreneurial ladies who go by the name of Elisheba Royman and Christine Sade from Deep Africa. You can continue to interact with me on @TV47KE and @Lucy_Riley, and you can also send in your text messages to 22047. Do stay with us as we come back from the break and listen in. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for choosing to stay with us here at TV47. Remember, this is the Days Counter, and Lucy Riley, you can engage with me on 22047. You can also interact with us on social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @TV47KE. Now it's time to enter another very interesting part of this particular show, which is where we have a discussion based around a particular topic. And for today, I have two smart and beautiful ladies in studio with me. From my nearest right, I have Christine Sade, and I also have next to her, that's Elisheba Royman from Deep Africa. How are you doing today?
We're doing well.
Fantastic. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Well, let's just dive right into it. Unemployment is a matter that keeps on fluctuating with the unemployment rate, but it continues still to be a thorn in the flesh. So how does your company help in addressing this particular issue of unemployment? Perhaps I can start with you, Christine.
Yeah, hello everyone. We're from Deep Africa, and Deep Africa, as she said, is an IT company. We deal with tech stuff. And first of all, what we do is we are a web hosting company. We also do web designing and other things like application development and maybe e-commerce, like online shops like Jumia. Yeah. So for unemployment, sometimes you can have an idea. Even you don't have to start with a lot of money. A little idea, as little as, let's say, starting a blog, and that you can do online. But I would like for Elisheba to talk more about that, because that is what she does in our company. But other businesses like small scale business, as we continue, we will break them down and we will talk more about them. You can still do it where? Online. Everyone is on phone right now. Everyone uses their laptop. Everyone is on phone. Even when we're in traffic, you can just find people on phones every time. Right. So tech, that is how we come in. Like we provide you with, just getting yourself out there, getting your name out there, your business out there, so that you can get awareness and, try and leverage the technology around us.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, just going back into the focus being the youth, really, and maybe you can speak about it, Elisheba, is how exactly does your company now help the young people and the youth to begin to tap into some of the online businesses that are available, or some of the platforms in order to create and make some extra money, now that we're starting off the year and they're looking for innovative solutions to grow and build their businesses?
All right, thank you.
you. First of all, I'd like it for Kenyan youths to, go out, get away with the connotation that hakuna kazi. Because the truth is there are jobs, and if you actually look into, especially right now since we have technology and it's at our fingertips, there are jobs that you can actually do. So what Deep Africa does, we can give you free consultation in regards to whatever business you'd like to start, and in case you wanted to go online, we will help you find your foot on that. But basically, what I could like to put out there is that kuna kazi. Right? And as long as you have technology, as long as you have your phone, you have your tablet, you can leverage on that, use the technology to find jobs, and we're going to discuss further on what jobs you can actually start. Yeah.
Right. So now that it's more of an online business that you're building, do you need to be tech savvy to be able to just navigate your way around and actually now design or look for a website and, find someone who can give you or host for you your website? Like, really, do you need to be tech savvy and understand all these terms as a young person, or what do they need to do to begin?
That's why she started by saying that we can offer free consultancy for those who want to start, just getting a hosting and let's say try to register your domain name. For those who probably don't know what a domain name is the address, like you have www. Let's say deepafrica.com. That is our website, and that is how people find you. So I don't have to be techie. Let's say I have a biashara ya kuuza let's say recycling, even mitumba, and I want to get my friends to buy those products. I don't have to be techie to just know how to to get my stuff out there. You can still do that on Facebook. You can do that on WhatsApp. You can create a YouTube channel, which doesn't cost anything apart from just getting bundles. So after you've done that, you can't be just, it's not because you're a techie person you're using your phone, right? Yeah. So let's say, for example, let's use the example of having, selling those clothes.
Yes.
And you have a Facebook page. You have your friends on WhatsApp, where you can create groups. So let's say you get a name, a domain name. You will just have to spread that to your friends. Let's say www.riley.co.ke. You spread that to your friends. Let's say put it on your status, and let's say even share it on your Facebook or Instagram, and through that link people will get to your website, or let's say even the online shop where they'll get all your products.
Right.
Yeah.
Elisha, what businesses are we actually looking at here? What are some of these businesses that you can start and begin to do online?
Okay, the one thing that I'd like to emphasize on is skills. As a young person, the question is, what are your skills? What are you good at? And that's where your business will start. Say, for instance, if I am good at cooking, that's a skill that I have acquired. That's where you start. That's your business. You can start a business from cooking, and you don't have to have a shop to cook. You can cook in your house and sell it on. Just share it on a status on WhatsApp, because it's free. You can tell your friends to share the same. And I think when you look into your skills more, as opposed to actually going on Google and typing, what can I start? What job is available for me to start? I think that would be better to just start with your skills, because I believe everyone has a skill that they're good at. Use your senses. If you're good at seeing, then that means you can actually be an editor. You can actually look and read into things and edit for people, and that could be your job. So one thing I would like to emphasize on is knowing your skills first, because that's where you start from. And another thing you need to utilize more is the things that God gave you, which is your senses, your 5 common senses. Use that, and I think that's where you could start. And let's just get into a few of the of the businesses that you could start for free. You could actually start by being a graphics designer. If you're good in graphics design, let that be your job. Advertise it on your social media platforms that are actually free of charge to set up. And with the use of technology that is at our fingertips, then it gives you the advantage. So start with that. Graphics designing, let's say for instance, if you're a graphics designer, this is a talent that you have. Use that. Another thing I think I'd want to talk about is social media management. Right now everybody's using social media, and let's say the celebrities or people, or even people in power, or even brands and businesses, they do not have people to run their social media, and it's something the youth are. You're constantly on your phone, you're constantly on YouTube, you're constantly on on Instagram. We are consumers. We need to stop being consumers and actually put that into a business. And when you actually think about it, if you approach a company, tell them, offer your services for free, and tell them, I am good at social media management. Can I do this for you? Then you see how my work is. And you never know, they could actually take you in. And yes, those are just some of the few business ideas that I would advise people to get into, because it's something they interact with on a day-to-day basis. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Just as we continue to explore some of these ideas, why should a young person or anyone out there opt to get a website or have a host name on? Why shouldn't they just continue to use a WhatsApp and maybe just Facebook or Instagram, which is free? What is it that makes your business stand out or your idea stand out when you decide to use this particular route?
The difference is, like, when you get hosting, it comes with professional emails. Like most of the times, let's say you want to find a tender, you want to get a tender, and you're using an email that goes, let's say, riley@gmail.com. Most companies won't accept that. Most companies will trust and actually find a way to just get the ones, let's say, give the contract to guys who have, let's say, people whose emails are trusted, like riley.co.ke or riley.com. That is a professional email, and most of the time they find to go for that and trust that than the gmail.com. So we find like most of the clients who come to us tell us about them trying to find a tender and it couldn't go through because they're asking for something professional.
Right. So even in the little details, such as now how your business shows up, it means that you're much more professional. Do you foresee that we can really reach a point where the youth can be completely dependent or on themselves, which is independent, and not depend so much on the government to create some of these jobs and opportunities? They can actually go out and write a blog and have their own blog or vlog and actually have success and run a real business out there. Have you worked with?
I think it's very possible. The thing is, when you look at Kitambo, we used to go to Nyayo House, and we used to want to get like, you're going to register your business. Even right now, going to the Huduma Center, you want to register a business. Everybody's there registering a business. But the thing is, you could just do it at your home, and you don't have to go there. Because look at it this way: if you want to create a YouTube channel, you really don't have to go and register at your name or your YouTube to Huduma. I think it's possible for youths to understand, first of all, that you don't have to go the traditional way, because technology is there for you. Use that, because currently, right now, I think that's your power.
Right, you've talked about the traditional way, but wouldn't you say it's still important to be able to be on both platforms, say online and offline? I mean, looking at your business, for example, you've got quite a number of people who have decided to take this particular route, over 5,000 plus. Now, would you say that having your own business online and having that credibility and web hosting and having your own extension, at the end of the day, it has boosted the business of those who've actually decided to be on the platform or not?
It saves time. Like you just being on your laptop and computer and doing that in your comfort zone saves you time and energy. And at the same time, you can reach out to a lot of people, let's say even countrywide, than just sitting in a shop and trying to sell the whole entire day. And either you just, let me use an example of, let's say, a boutique. You sell either 3 clothes today, but you could actually sell more when you're out there and your work is just doing deliveries for your clients.
Okay. I'm a client that's walked into your business. What does consulting look like? Typically, what would you begin to probe and find out about my business in order to advise me on the best products that I should purchase and buy?
Oh, first of all, I think the first thing is to understand. We'll want to understand what your business is about, and we will show you how. We will answer the how to start the business.
Right. So, say for example, I'm selling wigs, human hair wigs, for example. What next?
The first thing we'll ask you what is the clients that what's your target clients that you're looking for, and then we'll be able to make a plan for you in regards to the clients that you want to target, and from there we can create a plan for you.
Right. And of course, thereafter it becomes solely to the customer themselves to push their own content online and to keep on getting more people to actually come to their website, right?
at the end of the day, if you want to hire us to do that, the marketing, the digital marketing for you, we could do that. But if you can't do it by yourself, we could guide you, on the beginner level. But if you want us to get into depth, I think you'll have to have consultation with that, and that means you'll have to pay for content creation. Content marketing, which will be able to do that for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, just as we're coming actually to a close of this interview, you have mentioned that there are a couple of things that you would want to give some of the viewers who are watching, and they want to get involved, they want to get started.
Yeah.
Perhaps they can give an opportunity to speak a little bit about that.
Okay. So today we want to give away freebies to our viewers, and give us engagements, and I would want you to we will give you hosting for free. Hosting normally you pay yearly, but a domain name as well. So right now you can buy a domain name for 1,000 bob for .co.ke and get hosting for free for the whole year. Or you can also get a .com at 1,400 bob only, and hosting for free for the whole year.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's free hosting for them,
Yes.
as long as they can be able to purchase the domain name.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah.
really, really good. So how then can we be able to get them? I suppose if you are watching this right now, you can actually comment on the thread after this link on Facebook or even on Twitter, and then we'll be able to reach out to you and announce which people got lucky to be able to get this particular opportunity. Right. Now, as we come to a close, where can people find you if they want to be able to reach out to you? Of course, there are your websites and your social media platforms. Perhaps you can say that.
Sorry. You could reach us at deepafrica.com, across board on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram, and our website at deepafrica.com.
Right.
Yes.
Did you always have an interest in this particular direction, or how did you end up doing this, by the way, for example, Christine?
Us personally?
Yes.
Okay, I've always been so into marketing.
Right.
And finding an opportunity in Deep Africa, I think I've grown so much. And coming to learn about tech is also very interesting. So as time goes, I'm learning more. And I'd love for everyone to get on board and just learn about technology, and just try and run along with it, because hautaki kuachwa nyuma, and you don't want your businesses to be left behind.
Right.
Yes. So one reminder: if the viewers have any problem, they can actually just come to our website and try our live chat. We're 24 hours. Yeah, so if you have any issue and you want maybe an advice, then we can offer you free consultation. Just go on our live chat and chat with us, even at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so 24/7 literally is one of the wonders of being online and running a business online.
Yes.
You don't need to wait for 8 to 5. You can actually work all the time round.
Yeah.
And what about yourself?
Basically, I am a social media manager at Deep Africa, and for me, social media has always been my thing. And so when I found the opportunity to work with Deep Africa, it was an interesting field to work with, because I've never worked in a tech firm before, and I think that was a good chance for me to learn and experience new fields.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ladies, for being with me here today. And I'm sure as we progress on, we will have more opportunities where even people can begin to discover how then, when they want to develop apps and softwares, and what is really the technicality of it, and how you can be able to do so resourcefully for them.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I had with you for today. And as you've been told, we've got goodies and freebies to give on the next episode. That's next week on Monday. I've been your host, Lucy Riley. And until next time, goodbye.